What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today we're going to be looking at Amazing Rare RAIKOU in the Silver Tempest standard format, and we'll be looking at some deck lists and results from Japanese events on Pokekameshi.com. And when I say Amazing Rare RAIKOU is doing pretty well over there and being played a lot, I don't mean it's been played at a couple store events. If we scroll here, you will see there is a plethora of Amazing Rare Raikou decks being reported from Japan. And this is all in November. This is all, look, you can see the dates: 1104, 1105, 1103, 1102, 1101. And then we get into some older ones from October. But look at all of these results with Amazing Rare Raikou in Lost Zone box decks. So let's take a look at Amazing Rare Raikou real quick. Amazing Rare Raikou has 110 HP and it has one attack. It came out in Vivid Voltage 2 years ago and it's seen little to no success. Amazing shot for Grass Lightning Metal, which is a very weird energy requirement. It does 120 to the active and 120 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Why is this finally seeing play? Well, it's finally seeing play because of Archeops in the new set. Archeops has the ability Primal Turbo. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Now, why is it seeing play because of Archeops in a Lost Zone box deck, you might ask? Well, 2 reasons. One doesn't have to do with the Lost Zone box deck, but one is because of Lugia V-Star. Lugia V-Star is a very strong Pokemon, but it wouldn't be as strong as it is without Archeops, because it has the Assemble Star ability that allows you to put up to 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard onto your bench. Those colorless Pokemon are always going to be the Archeops, and then you're going to use that Archeops to power up Lugia and power up other Pokemon. Lugia is weak to Lightning. Amazing Rare Raikou is Lightning type. So Amazing Rare Raikou is going to be able to do 240 damage to Lugia and also set up 120 on an Archeops or on another Lugia, and then you can nicely just clean that damage up with a Radiant Greninja, or with Sablei's Lost Mine, or even with Cramorants. There's a lot of possibilities here. You can even use Zigzagoon and Scoop Up Nets. If you get to use 2 Amazing Rare Raikous, you can do 240 active to a Lugia and 120 to a bench Lugia, and then on the following turn boss up the other Lugia and knock them both out at the same time. There's a lot you can do with this. So let's take a look at some of these deck lists. We'll see this one here is even also using Amazing Rare Zacian, which we can take a quick look at. Zacian was from Vivid Voltage as well, and has also seen little to no play and success up until this point. But we have Mirage Gate in this deck that can just accelerate these energies all willy-nilly to the Pokemon however we like them to be. And the Amazing Sword attack does 300 damage if the opponent has any VMAX Pokemon in play. It doesn't even have to be attacking into a VMAX Pokemon. They just have to have VMAX Pokemon in play. So you'll see these Lost Zone box decks that are commonly including 2 of the Amazing Rare Raikous. It's just so good at spreading damage around, and then you can use your Sableye and Cramorant and Zigzagoon and Radiant Greninja and everything to clean up that damage if Raikou isn't taking knockouts on its own. So something else interesting that I mentioned, going back to that Archeops, is that it's also being included in Lugia Archeops deck. You'll see this Amazing Rare Raikou alongside the Lugia in a lot of these lists. So let's take a look at that first one again. We see here it's a pretty typical Lugia deck. We've got 4-3 Lugia V-Star, 4 Archeops, because we want to get those into the discard pile and then use the Assemble V-Star power from Lugia V-Star to get those onto the board right away. But then we also have very cool additional attackers. It's not just Lugia and Archeops. We also have the Amazing Rare Raikou and the Amazing Rare Yveltal in this deck as well, in addition to Radiant Charizard. And you'll see a lot of different attackers throughout these decks being included. We even have here a 1/1 Flying Pikachu VMAX in this Lugia deck. But a lot of them are including that Amazing Rare Raikou that hasn't seen play for 2 years. Like, just like all the Amazing Rares, they really haven't seen any tournament play or competitive play competitive success up until now, with both Mirage Gate coming out last set and Lost Origin to really help these amazing rare Pokemon, and even more so the Archeops. I think a lot of people thought Mirage Gate would be the time that amazing rares popped off, but the combination of Lugia being a lightning weak, very meta relevant Pokemon, making Raikou good because of its lightning type. Also, the Lugia decks are not playing Manaphy with the bench protection. That's also good for Raikou. And then especially good for all amazing rares is the Archeops in the Lugia deck that gets to search out special energy and attach them straight away to your Pokemon. So this, of course, helps out the amazing rare Raikou. It helps out the amazing rare Eviltal, which we haven't taken a quick look at the Eviltal yet. But Eviltal from Shining Fates, a little bit later than Vivid Voltage, has the amazing destruction attack for a fire, psychic, dark, and 2 colorless, 5 energy altogether. Your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. But Archeops can power that up in 1 turn. Lugia puts 2 Archeops onto the board, and then you can just search your deck for a Twin Energy plus an Aurora Energy for one of the Archeops, and then 2 Aurora Energies for the next Archeops, attach them all to Amazing Rare Eviltal, and you can knock out anything. A single prize, a 2 prize, a 3 prize Pokemon, whatever it is, you're knocking them out. Do note that Big Parasol stops the effect of Amazing Destruction. Big Parasol is not super popular, but it is a common include in a couple of archetypes. So I think it's really interesting how Amazing Rare Raikou is finally seeing success and popularity and relevant play, and for good reason, because Archeops is giving it such a buff, and Archeops is also creating the Lugia V-Star threat, which makes even non-Archeops decks, like these Lost Zone box decks that use Mirage Gate, they're able to consistently and reliably use Amazing Rare Raikou as a pretty main strategy of their deck. So I thought this was definitely something to cover. A lot of deck lists here. I'm going to leave both of the links from Pokekameshi for both Raikou and for the Lugia list, so you guys can check them out on your own. I think this is really cool, and the format seems really fun and creative and inventive. I know people at the very top of the competitive nature, you know, people that are in the top 1% of competitors are always going to find decks and cards to complain about for being too good. But it's just the nature of a card game that there are going to be decks that are better than the others. The fun thing is trying to figure out how to beat those decks and how to punish people for playing the decks that are so powerful. And Amazing Rare Raikou is a perfect example of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Be sure to check out my sponsors and other links in the description down below. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel for daily Pokemon TCG content, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.